right? Imagine Hogwarts without Alan Rickman as Snape. Unthinkable, right? Well, guess what? HBO's gone and done it. They've cast Pape Aidu as a new Snape, and the fans? Well, yeah, they're livid. So the big question, can anyone ever replace Rickman's legendary Snape? And let's break down why the casting is blowing up in their faces. I put out a post on X and a lot of backlash of people saying, not my Snape. So picture this, a world where Harry Potter never met Severus Snape, a world where Alan Rickman never graced the screen with that unforgettable drawl. Hard to imagine a Snape who isn't Rickman, and yet here we are facing an impossible question. Can anyone really replace him? Is it too late to change the casting for Severus Snape in the HBO Harry Potter series? It's not that hard to see why Alan Rickman didn't just act Snape, he became him. When we think of Harry Potter, we think of Harry, Hermione, Dumbledore, and we think of obviously the Weasleys and then Snape. Alan Rickman's portrayal of Severus Snape didn't just define the character, it defined what it meant to be a complex anti-hero in modern cinema. Snape was the embodiment of contradictions. He was cold, cruel, mysterious, yet deeply, heartbreakingly human. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and let's continue. Snape isn't just a teacher at Hogwarts. He's one of the most iconic characters in film history. When Rickman spoke, he didn't just hear the words, he felt them. That chill in the air when he looked at Harry, the subtle pain behind his eyes, the power in his voice. He didn't just act Snape, he owned Snape. Every glance, every word was infused with the knowledge of what has to come. And that's why Rickman's Snape is legendary. But here we are now watching as HBO steps into that space, trying to breathe life into Snape once again. And that's where the trouble begins. It's not just about recasting a character. It's about stepping into the shadows of a giant. Snape, as portrayed by Alan Rickman, is irreplaceable, and no matter how talented the new actor is, they will always face the impossible challenge of living up to what Rickman has left behind. So let's talk about the casting of Pape Aidu. This is not a personal attack on Pape. He's quite a talented actor with incredible acting career. He's been praised for his work on stage. He's done loads of work there and he's built a strong career. The guy can act, but the problem isn't about whether he's good or not. The problem is the role he's stepping into suitable for him? Because let's be real, Snape isn't just any role. Snape is one of the most beloved, complicated and emotionally charged characters in the Harry Potter franchise. The weight of the character is huge, and for HBO to think they can just cast someone new and expect fans to accept it, it's enormous gamble. Fans are outraged, and can you blame them? I mean, who can really step into Alan Rickman's shoes? Snape is so tied to Rickman's portrayal that it's almost impossible to picture anyone else. That's the reality of the situation. Now don't get me wrong, Aidu may bring something new to the table. He may bring his own vision of Snape that's fresh, compelling and different. But when fans see Aidu as Snape, many of them don't see a fresh take. They see an imitation. What makes the backlash so intense is that it's not just about a character, it's about legacy. Alan Rickman's Snape means something to people. He wasn't just a great actor delivering lines, he was a piece of a larger emotional landscape that connected with millions of people. And when HBO announces a reboot and casts a new Snape, they're not just casting an actor, they're tampering with part of people's childhood, history, feelings and emotions. Let's talk about the look for a second. A lot of fans are saying Aidu doesn't have the right look for Snape. He doesn't have the greasy hair, that sallow complexion or that menacing presence Rickman brought. Snape was always the embodiment of the dark, mysterious energy, and Aidu doesn't quite capture that in the same way. At the moment, we have not given him a chance to show what he can do. It's a lot of speculation because obviously the HBO season hasn't come out yet. It's hard to see someone else pull off the same intensity. Rickman's Snape was dangerous, calculating and cold, yet we understood why he did what he did. Aidu, with all his talent, doesn't yet embody the same gravitas. Fans have been comparing them and pointing out the obvious difference, and those differences are hard to ignore. Rickman was Snape, but Aidu, fans aren't so sure yet. And that's where the real issue lies. It's not just about recasting a character, it's about replacing an actor who gave one of the most iconic performances of a generation. Rickman's Snape wasn't just a character, he was a moment in cinematic history. You can't just erase that. You can't just cast someone new and expect people to forget. I mean, just look at what happened with Superman over the years. When Henry Cavill was first announced, some fans said he didn't have the presence to live up to the Christopher Reeve's iconic vision. Before that, Brandon Routh faced the same comparisons, and even back when Reeve was cast, there was doubts about whether he could embody such a larger-than-life character. But once audiences saw their performances, many came around. In Reeve's case, he became the definitive Superman for generations. That said, those are rare cases. Not every recast sticks. Expecting new actors such as Pape Aidu to deliver in a similar Superman that resonates strongly as Reeves or Cavill is a big ask. The odds are always stacked against anyone stepping into such an iconic role. But I feel like we do need to give this an option. If you treat this as a standalone, separate to the Harry Potter that we've already seen the films, and treat it as a bonus extra bit of information, if HBO sticks to most of their goals so far and gives us more book accurate stuff, you know what, we might get a more detailed look into some of that the new series will give us, that HBO is thinking about introducing more from the books. Is it a win that we get to see more from the books? The books have been iconic and they always are epic, so it's something to consider and think about. It's difficult to see what a new character can do to an existing role, but that's a rare case. Not every recast works. The idea that Aidu could pull off a Snape as iconic as Rickman, well, it's a lot to ask. The problem with the new casting isn't about Aidu's talent, it's about the fact that Snape, as written and portrayed by Rickman, is so deeply ingrained in people's minds that anyone who steps into the role is bound to face a ton of resistance. Rickman's Snape wasn't just a role, it was a cultural touchstone. People loved him, hated him, feared him, and ultimately mourned him. No matter how good the new Snape is, it's hard to imagine fans really feeling the same level of connection. And maybe that's the real question here. Do we need a new Snape? Do we even need this reboot? The Harry Potter franchise was already perfect. Rickman's Snape was the perfect Snape. Maybe the story is being told. Maybe there's no need to retell it. But then again, maybe HBO delivers and believes they can do something new. Maybe they believe the story of Harry Potter can be made new for a generation that never experienced the films the way we did. They want to bring us closer to the books. They want to flesh out the characters more deeply. They want to show us a side of Snape that was never seen before. But at what cost? Is it worth it? Is it worth risking alienating fans who grew up with Rickman's Snape? Is it worth bringing in a new actor only to face the inevitable comparisons and backlash? And when do you get past the backlash? Is the reboot really going to add something to the legacy of Harry Potter? Technically, it's not a reboot, they're remaking it based on the books, so I don't know if I should say reboot. At the end of the day, HBO is walking a tightrope. The Harry Potter franchise is beloved for a reason, and Alan Rickman's Snape is a huge part of that. Whether or not Aidu can live up to the legacy Rickman left behind remains to be seen, but for now, the backlash is loud and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel about this and what's your feeling towards the Snape? Should they just wrap it up altogether, I know I've been making my version of HBO's Harry Potter series episode by episode, so if you haven't already checked that out, I'll link you to a video where you can actually check out all season 1, season 2, and I'm in the pipeline of season 3 at the moment. We're midway between it. Backlash has been nothing short of facetious. Social media is ablaze with fans expressing their discontent, from the die-hard Potterheads to casual viewers who simply can't shake the image of Alan Rickman's Snape from their minds. On Twitter, Reddit and Instagram, everywhere you look, people are saying the same thing. You can't replace Rickman's Snape. And honestly, we can't blame them. When we're talking about a beloved franchise like Harry Potter, the stakes are high. These characters have become ingrained in pop culture for decades. The actors behind them aren't just seen as performers, they are embodiments of the characters. Rickman's Snape is so iconic that any attempt to recast him will naturally face massive resistance. Fans aren't just angry, they're mourning the idea of Snape being recast in the first place. There is a real fear that the reboot could tarnish something sacred, something that has meant so much to so many people. So let's break down the backlash, shall we? First off, there's the issue of respecting the original performance. Alan Rickman's portrayal of Snape is universally beloved. Another massive source of backlash is the notion that the reboot is a cash grab. The argument goes like this: why are they remaking something that's already perfect? What's the point of redoing a beloved series except to milk it for more money? And that's where the frustration grows. It isn't really doing the love of the material, they're doing it for profit, and it feels like, and of course we have to ask, is the backlash warranted? Is it possible that fans are overreacting? After all, reboots are a common part of the entertainment landscape. People recast roles all the time, whether it's a character in a superhero franchise or a classic literary adaptation. So maybe this reboot isn't an attempt to tarnish Rickman's legacy, it's simply an effort to reintroduce the world of Harry Potter to a new generation. Still, no matter how much we argue the merits of a remake of the books, there's no denying that the casting of Snape in particular has struck a nerve. This is a role that demands respect. What could be a possible solution? If they want to make this work, it needs to acknowledge the weight of the backlash. HBO really needs to acknowledge this. They need to publicly recognize Alan Rickman's legacy as Snape. They could release a statement, maybe even a documentary style piece that highlights Rickman's profound impact on the character and the franchise. This would show respect for the work that came before and set the tone that the reboot is not about erasing the original but rather building upon it. Next, they should be transparent about their vision for Snape. If they want Pape Aidu to play the role, they need to explain why he was chosen. What does Aidu bring to the character that's fresh, exciting and new? Fans need to understand the direction they're going in, what new layers they intend to explore in Snape's character. Is there a specific aspect of Snape's past or personality that they're focusing on? Maybe the Snape they're envisioning isn't a direct copy of Alan Rickman's performance, but a different interpretation of the character. Finally, it's crucial for HBO to understand the emotional connection fans have with the original series. Harry Potter isn't just entertainment, it's a cultural touchstone for millions of people worldwide. And Snape isn't just a character, he's Alan Rickman. If HBO can respect that connection, can acknowledge the legacy of Rickman's Snape, and find a way to make the reboot feel like a tribute rather than a replacement, they might just be able to quiet the storm. So here's the bottom line: the backlash is real, it's loud, and it's not going away anytime soon. But there's a way to navigate this to honor the past while introducing something new. HBO needs to acknowledge Rickman's contribution by transparency and about his vision for Snape and involve the fans community in the process. Only then can they hope to overcome backlash and move forward with a reboot that doesn't just satisfy new audiences but respects the original. The road ahead isn't going to be easy, but with that right approach, HBO could find a way to make this reboot work. And if they do it right, maybe, just maybe, fans will start to see this new Snape not as a replacement but as part of a new chapter in the Harry Potter saga. But one thing's for sure, the legacy of Alan Rickman's Snape will never be forgotten. No one can replace him. The new Snape, well, he's got big shoes to fill. I really enjoy you being here as part of this series with me. Make sure to check out this next video in the series where I've gone through episode by episode to see what I think should be in the Harry Potter series. Here's the first full cut binge version of season 1 in my vision. Let me know what you think of this. Do you agree? This is what HBO should do. I'll see you on that next video.